Okay, welcome back to the Gray Hair Gamer. I'm Gray, the Gray Hair Gamer himself, and today we are back in the savage world of Conan Exiles. Now, as a recap to what we've done before, we spawned in from our beginning area as a level 1 noob, made our way up to the Noob River area. We've established a location for our starter base. We are next to basic materials. We are next to more advanced materials, coal and iron. We have access to animals and NPCs that we'll be able to take as pets. And with the NPCs, we can knock out and put on our Wheel of Pain and make them obedient little followers. And we can also, if we head up to this area, once we have a bit of armor, find us a baby horse, so we will not have to walk all over this big area. And yes, it is big. The Alexipta expansion is equally as large. You can see we're also not too far away from the Forgotten City. Not too far if we want to come up towards the jungle area and up to the Pirate City. And without too much trouble, we can make it up into the beginning of the Northlands and the Arctic once we have a sturdy steed under us. And we will unlock all that technology to raise a baby horse, to make saddles and mail for the animal. We'll learn how to use what weapons we can use while we're on horseback. We're going to learn all that stuff. But first things first, we got us a little base area here we've established by this giant tree. And we built a small platform. We got our bedroll laid down. We got our kiln. It's made us a little bit of iron. Now we're ready to start doing a little bit of building. So today I went ahead and prefabbed. I'll get rid of this putrid meat. Prefab some building pieces that we'll be able to show quite a bit of how things can go together. So we're going to we will probably be over encumbered. Yes, we are. Okay, we're going to take some foundation pieces and put them in our quick slot. And we're going to start. So everything that'll be on the same height and have some uniformity. We're going to start laying down some pieces out this way, because if you look here underneath my character picture, you'll see a purge meter. Now it's barely filled in right now, but as we build and survive in the game, that will fill up, and we will get attacked by a purge spawn of NPCs or animals at some point or another. So we want to be thinking about building the defenses as much as building a home. So with the flotsam pack, we were able to build. Okay, just to lighten up some weight, we're going to expand our little area here as well. Now this is all made using basic materials, stone and wood. Okay, so let's put these back. And now there's two different types of portals you can make. You can make a regular door frame that's 1 square wide, and you build a door separately to put inside of it, and then you also have these big gates And so, since it's rather hard to get a horse, to get a larger pet animal through a one square door, we're going to see just how big a gate is. Okay, and I think we have to have a bit of framework here to place the gate. Okay, and remember, while we're building our area, we want to have an enclosed house, because this map does have a sandstorm that will hurt you. And we're going to have some outbuildings eventually. We're going to have a wheel of pain. We're going to have an altar to the gods. We're going to have a stable. And we're going to have an animal pen. Now, I believe with the last update with SIPTA, you can build a smaller animal pen that only holds one animal. The standard one holds 3 or 5 animals, but is very, very large and takes up quite a bit of ground space. So if we can build the single animal one, that will be a huge... there we go. Sometimes you have to play around with where you stand. See, when it's green, we can place it. When it's white, we can't, but we want to... There we go, to get it to change. And another thing we want to pay attention to is right up there in the middle. We can get it to where you can see it there. It says outer face. If we flip it, flip it, there's a difference between how the stone looks, the walls look from inside and outside. So I would keep it outer face so we can read it and place it. Okay, and this is the flotsam style. It's made to look like out of ship parts and boat parts because the Isle of Sipta, the expansion this set came with, is nautical themed. You start off, you're on an island, you're shipwrecked. There's lots of shipwrecks. So it's a nautical type theme. Now if we rebuild something we don't really want, we can always, boom, demolish it. You hold down A or X on the item, it pops up this pop-up. We can cancel this action, or we can dismantle it. And we do recover a little bit of the building materials when we demolish something, but not enough to build a new one. Okay, so let's place the gate door. It automatically snaps to. So now when we come up here and hit X, we have a nice big gate to ride a horse out. Our animals come through, etc. Okay, and the next thing is we want to show you how to make, I only have 4 of those, how to make a tower. Now if you Google Conan Exiles tower design, there are a bunch of different designs out there. But the basis is this. You start off, instead of making a square, you take these triangular base pieces. Okay, we want to raise that up just a little bit. Now this is not going to be matched up to what we built before, but we're going to demolish it and rebuild. So you place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like a pie. Makes a hexagon. And then we're going to take and place a square block out. And I don't have enough to show. I'm missing the last 2. And fill in that with triangle. You can see we're starting to get a round shape. And if we would continue on alternating triangle to square till we put 3 triangles here, we put 1 square here, 3 triangles here, 1 square here, we can expand layer upon layer to the size and diameter of our tower. Now this is where your creativity comes in, and what cool designs. This is the Minecraft aspect of this game, the building system. Okay, so we just recovered a bunch of materials off that, so we're going to build some more. We'll take the sandstone and craft a few of them. Because on my main house area, I want to use a small tower, like a turret, in this area to be our stairs to go to a second floor of our main house. So speaking of which, our main house, we're going to lay out just a quick square type room. And this time we're going to take some of the floatsome walls. There's 2 types, without windows and with windows. And we'll show you how those work. And again, there's lots of ways that you can combine these pieces to make designs and whatnot. Okay, so now if we look, we place this wall, it reads outer face backwards. That means that the outer face is now towards us. You can also see the arrow. And you can see there's the outer face and the inner face. Quite a bit different. So that's something you always want to be checking. If you get in a hurry, it can mess with you. See, now I can read the outer face there. That means it's actually going to be backwards. We want the outer face out. Now, with the exiled lands that we're hanging out in here today, there are sandstorms that pop up on occasion and will hurt us if we're not in shelter. So it's important that we get some kind of base safety started here. Then I'll take a layer here of the ones with windows. And don't worry, it is getting dark, but we can build a torch to help us out. So these are all made from base materials, stone and wood. Okay, so what do we need now? But right now, I think we're going to put a roof over us, and we will add a second story in the future. So now we're going to use our roof pieces. We have corner pieces, and sometimes you may have to play around. There we go, facing in. I'm going to do the corners. centers. And I won't be able to place this last one in here until I build a regular door frame, and then we can place a wall and a roof above that. Okay, so let's put those rest of this stuff back for now. And then to do a little bit of decorative something here, we're going to mix and match. With this flotsam setup and a stone. So we can use combinations to make some cool patterns. Okay, we had just enough for that. Cool. See, I do have stone, and there's some wood. Okay, so now we can build not a gate, but a door frame, sandstone door frame, and where are the doors? Ah. We don't have any twine to build a door yet. Okay, so we'll skip on the door. We built the door frame, and then we need one wall with a hole in it, a window, and then one piece of roof, which is in the box. And again, we want to make sure outer face is to the outside. Switch out our pieces. And now we have mostly shelter. We should have full shelter. There we have full shelter. Now when we finish filling in the roof, we will have full shelter everywhere in our container, in our little house here, our little starter place. But we'll go ahead and fill that in. You'll notice that these are yellow. Okay, if we try to place it down here, it's green. Green shows it's a most stable place. It's hooked up to other pieces. You're a very small chance of collapse. But as we go up here, they don't have as much support. They're only being held up by these roof pieces, so they're yellow. They will eventually go red, and then you will not be able to... Okay, sorry about that technical difficulty. But you cannot build an endless stairwell up without supports and using floor sections and foundations as well. But yellow, we're fine with that. So now we got our sheltered area where we can start to process some materials. What we're going to do is we're going to move this, return it to inventory. There it is. Put that in our quick spot and pick it up and move it. The furnace is one of the few that you can do this with. There we go, no X. And drop those materials back in there so we don't have to carry them. Now, what else do we have? We have stairs, so we can place some stairs. out at our gate. Again, these work just like the other pieces. They snap in place. You may have to move around a bit. I don't think it's going to let us place two more here because of the gate. Ah, there we go. Uh-oh. Being attacked. Oh, dodge that on time. There we go. And we gained a level while we were at it. Sweet. Okay, so we're going to want to add on to this front facade and have some places for our defenders to fight in case we are attacked. We'll put a couple little platforms up next to the gate for maybe archers to stand on. And there you can see our house starting to take shape. We'll be able to later on tear the roof off and put a second story. We want to put at least one turret up as a stairwell between those first and second stores, as we will need a bit of room. There are a lot of benches that we need to build. Carpenter benches, armor benches, blacksmith, like a forge, and a tannery to turn these hides that we've been collecting off these animals. We need to turn them into leather. So we will need a bit of room, and we want to make sure that those all under roof and protected. Like I was talking about earlier, we will, once we have a carpenter's bench and the right skills unlocked in our feat tree, we will be able to capture a baby horse, build a animal pen, a stable for that baby animal to grow up in, and make a saddle and have a ride around this exile land rather than walking on the old shoe leather express all the time. Okay, so we gathered up some stone. I'm going to gather up some wood as well. Okay, now a trick I've noticed in this game. We're over encumbered right now. But if we take and use some of these materials, I'm going to build, yeah, we'll build 8 of those. You'll notice our weight going down. We're not encumbered anymore. Items in your quick select don't count as part of your weight carried. So now, since we built those pieces, we can go back and harvest some more things. Now these big cactuses do give you wood, and they also give you a red insect which will come in handy later. One of the many benches that you can build, the technologies you can unlock, is dyeing cloth. Dyeing your armor different colors and personalizing your armor to a great degree. Okay, there we are, over encumbered again. So we're going to make some more pieces. And this time I'm going to make some triangular pieces. It's always best when you're building is to lay out the foundations first, and like your basic floor plan, and then build upwards. what we're going to do while we're clearing out these areas and gathering up resources for parts. We're going to plan out and lay out our walls. Okay. So we're going to come off our gate here at a 90-degree angle. We're going to place a couple square platforms. Now we're going to select our triangular parts. We're going to lay out 3 of them. So now when we build this up, there'll be a place for an archer to stand and look down and fire on any enemies and protect our gate. And so we're going to do this on the same side, or the same on the opposite side. Lay out 1, 2, 3 square. 1, 2, 3 triangles. We also add some defenses out here on the walls. If we build fences and place them at ground level and 1 level up, they have spikes on the outer face. There it's very important that you're sure of which side is facing. But they have spikes on the outer walls, on the outer side, and if anyone tries to climb them, they get hurt and they fall down. So we'll make our walls unscalable without having to build them very, very high. We only have to come up one square on top of where we're at now. Okay, so let's have a look here how we can get some weight down. Okay, one thing we want to do that will help us out in our survival is to make another water skin. We don't want to have to go every 5 minutes to take a water skin, or to refill. Believe it's level 25. We will unlock the technology to build a well, and we'll be able to build that right inside our base walls, so we will always have a protected and constant source of drinking water. And here is our water skin, so we're going to build 1 more of those. The next time we go to water, we'll fill up and we'll have double. Now here are some of the benches that we're going to need to build. This armorer's bench is going to be very important to us right now, but even before we can make armor, we need this tannery to produce leather. We already have our furnace that's producing iron, and once we have enough iron produced, we'll be able to make a blacksmith shop, which is weapons bench. We have an armor bench and a weapon bench. There's also a tanner's table. It's not absolutely necessary at first, but it is very useful because there are animals, such as the crocodile, for example, the alligators, whatever, that drop reptile skin. Cats, a lot of times, bobcats and the mountain lions, things like that, drop feline skins. They don't drop regular hides, and this tanner's bench allows us to change them, stretch the hides, trim the hides, whatever, to make them into hides and thick hides that we can then use, transport right over to the tannery. They work in tandem together and turn into leather and thick leather. The regular leather we will need for our medium armor. The thick leather we will need for the heavy armor. Now we can make light armor with just the armorer's bench and using hides, but it's only one quick step more to turn it into leather and medium armor. So it doesn't really make sense to make just light armor. I usually skip over it and go on to the next. So the tannery bench and the armorer's bench are our prime targets right now. So we're going to need a total of 400 stone, 200 wood, and with the tannery bench it uses bark as fuel. You get bark by smacking a tree with a pickaxe, a stone pick, rather than a stone hatchet. Normal trees give you a small chance of getting bark, but dead trees give a very good chance of giving bark, and luckily we know where some are, right over the hill here. That was one of the reasons we picked this spot, is because of all the basic resources that we'll need. These are dead trees. Some standing up, some lying down. You can still harvest them. So we're going to take our pick and get a beat on these things. There you can see nothing but bark. And aloe is always something, always something to gather up when you see it. The aloe and the aloe potions are definitely life and death to have. What is this over here? Another iron deposit close by. Excellent. Because the main area for iron in this area is up by that big tree up there, up over the hillside. And there are some monsters up there, so it's not the best place to go when we're just wearing normal cloth clothing. So any resources that we find like that right next to our base is a blessing. Okay, now here's a regular tree. Not a dead tree, this is a live tree, so we're going to smack it. You see we do get some bark. 1, 2, 3 times out of 5 smacks with the pickaxe. The dead trees give you bark every swing. Okay, so we don't get too encumbered. We're going to go up here, whoop, and drop off these items. Okay, not enough space, so we can get rid of the insects, we can get rid of the bugs. We want to keep these red bugs for later. We can take that iron out and put in the furnace. We need the seeds, we need the horns. We do not need the dry wood, we can use that for fuel in our campfire. Drop the insects. Drop that off there. Okay, now we're good to go back to gather some more minerals, or materials rather. So we do want to get some regular wood, and always need more and more stone. Now this process will increase pretty dramatically when we upgrade soon to iron tools, an iron pick, an iron hatchet, and as well as iron weapons. And there are a few vicious ones. The two-handed weapons do a lot of damage and have some really fun animations, really cool combos. The daggers, very small, but give you a extra dodge. as instead of a heavy attack, and also cause bleed effects on your opponent. The big two-handed weapons give a sunder effect, which you can get hit with these as well. Bleed causes extra damage over time. Sunder reduces your armor for a small time. So when the enemy hits you, or you sunder and hit them, you do extra damage. They don't have as much damage reduction. And there's poison, which is an extra damage over time. And with some of the spiders, especially, I've noticed, they don't even have to come attack you directly to get poison effect on you. They can spit poison at you. Okay, so what do we got? We can drop here. We can drop those, drop bugs, and drop sticks. Okay, now we're no longer encumbered. Now we should have enough to build something. Okay, we're going to dump it all in the box so it organizes it basically for us. We have 491, and we have 200 wood, and we have 104 bark. That should be enough to make the tannery. And yes, it is. So we'll begin that. And then next in priority will be our armor's bench. And it looks like we're only missing 25 twine for that. So the raw material for that is plant fiber. And that's not going to quite be enough. Okay, there we go. Our tannery is finished. And it's one of the bigger benches. We have to maneuver it around until this red X disappears. And there'll be a red X whenever it collides with the wall, so... Okay, so now we can take and drop the rest of our bark in for fuel. And now we can take our hides and put in here and begin processing them, just like we did with the coal, or the iron stone. Now we're going to start processing these. We put in our fuel, we put in our hides, and we hit the left trigger to play. And there we've begun our production of leather, which we'll need in our next step to make armor. And we also get tar as a byproduct. Now don't throw tar away. Tar is very useful. It helps actually, stick things together. We will need a lot of these when it comes time to build a well. And also when we go from iron technology to steel, tar becomes very important in the process of changing iron bars into steel bars. We have to combine it and use it as a raw material in another bench, an alchemist bench. But then that'll give us ability to make steel further down. I believe it's level 20 or 25 that we unlock steel tools and weapons. So we can go away and let this do its thing. When it's done, it'll shut off automatically, just like the furnace and the fireplace do. So now we need just a bit more material to make our armorer's bench, and we were short some plant material. Yeah, a big thing we're collecting one by one by one by one with the plants here. When we get a blacksmith bench where we can build iron weapons and iron tools, we can build an iron sickle that will knock these down very, very quickly and also give us a lot more than just one. But for right now, we just kind of have to suck it up. Remember, we can still eat the insects and the bees. If you want to look for, they last a long time before they get putrid. They don't give you a lot of refill in your food meter, your hunger meter rather, but they can be carried as like an emergency ration, a small pack of them. Okay, there we're over encumbered and we broke our pick. So while it's repairing, we'll head back. And we're also going to start making some more twine, the last of the twine we need for our armorer's bench. And we can start gearing up. We should have almost enough iron bars already to build the next bench, which will be the blacksmith's bench. Like I said, that'll be for our iron weapons and iron tools. And I know of a few, there we go, climb up there buddy, a few more spots where we can find some iron deposits without going into danger, right in our local little area here. Okay, so we want to keep the stone and the wood. That with the twine should be the recipe for our armorer's bench, and it is. They're all lit up. We can craft one. Now we're going to need 250 more stone and 50 iron bars to make our blacksmith's bench. So after we get the armor set up, then we will take a look at how many iron bars we have. And it's almost done. There we go. You see how we're not encumbered now. Because that blacksmith bench, how heavy it is, it's in our quick slot. So it doesn't count so much towards our encumbrance. Now this is a smaller bench. I'm trying to think where we can place these. Yeah, we'll place the armor on one side and the weapons on the other. I'm going to try and keep these as close together as we can, since we don't have a whole lot of room yet until we put on a second story or an outbuilding, etc. At that time we can pick these all up, put them back in our inventory and rearrange them. Okay, so now if we come over to our armorer's bench, we can see that if we place materials, raw materials in here, these are the things we can craft. This Barakian Reaver set, that came with the Isle of Sipta. A heavy armor set, includes helmet, pants, legs, a light weapon set, or armor set rather, I'm sorry, as well as a medium. And then there are some special cultural ones. The Slave Forge set came with the Isle of Sipta. You can see that its armor values are very low. With the ceremonial set, it's considered light armor. They do have armor value 112 for that chest piece. 32, that would be considered your heavy set. The Guardian set, Slave Forge Guardian. And then the Sacrificial 47, yeah, this would be your medium set. They're basically going to have the same armor values as these stock, light, medium, and heavy. In fact, where's the heavy? This heavy chest piece, 112. This heavy chest piece, which is a stock, 112. and this heavy chest piece, armor value 112. So they give you, it's basically cosmetic choice, and it even uses the same. Now, a lot of times I build the stock medium until I get the thick leather that's required to make the heavy. So I think we're going to change it up, and we're going to do the new sets, which will be the sacrificial sets, or the slave forge sets. Now we need the medium version of those. Medium padding. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to need 5 medium paddings to start off. There we go. We need leather and twine for that. So we do have some twine. Oh, what happened? Oh, it got dark. There we go. Okay. And we're going to take this leather that we've now produced, and it's still processing 18 more pieces. And we're going to put that in there. And we need, again, more twine. So we can drop this off, and go right outside the door and start gathering up some more of this. And we are well on our way to getting our first set of real armor. To build any more, we are going to need a lot more iron, which is not very available here at this area. So we start them to process, and there's more bushes back here. But we're going to need a lot more iron. Our armor, heavy armor, needs iron. Our weapons will all need iron. Our tools will all need iron. And when we level up, we'll be turning that iron into steel. But you don't have an ore to make steel directly from. You can't make steel directly from an ore. You have to process it. It goes from iron ore, and then it becomes iron bars, and then becomes steel bars. With stone, you have stone as your raw material, and then you process that into bricks, and then you can process those into hardened bricks. With wood, you have your raw material is wood. When you process that, you get shaped wood or dried wood, and then you use that as a raw material for more advanced building pieces, more advanced benches, decorations, that sort of thing. Okay. So we have 15 and 20 some more. Okay, that'll give us a start on to build some armor. So we'll put that in our bench, and to make our different sets, like I said, we wanted to go with the medium set, which is this one. Wait, heavy. There's our medium set. They require a medium padding as a resource, so we have to build those first. So we can craft 4 of those, and they will take a while. And then we will also need iron bars and more leather. So you can see we're going to need to kill a lot more critters. And we have 22. We need 50 to make the armorer's bench, so our next priority is to get some iron ore, iron stone, and get that processing the way we have our leather processing. And it's one of those ones that you can set it and walk away from it. Now, if I remember correctly, we come up here on this hillside, there should be a couple iron deposits up here. Now right now, for a furnace, we're using wood as a fuel supply. Once we have some armor and a little bit better weaponry, then we can go to where we can harvest a lot of iron. We can also harvest coal, which is a much more efficient and longer lasting fuel than what the wood could be. You can see from a distance here, our little compound is already starting to take shape. Eventually we will own and we will have built this whole flat area, taking advantage of the areas on both sides of the trees as well as behind it. We will be blocking off this area with wall so that there's no chance of a purge attack or anything from that. We'll bring this front area out, this front wall, more closer to us, and then make a turn, so we will have a whole nice sized courtyard. That will be a complete safe area, and we'll get some fence up for defenses, and we'll have a very nice little starter base. So we're going to need some more leather, obviously, so we're going to see if we can kill one of these guys before they run away. There we go. See, we couldn't do that when we first got in the game before our strength was very low. Now we're at the point where... Oh yeah, we have unspent points. Okay. We forgot to level up there for a while. So, what we're going to do, we have 13 points to spend. We're going to unlock our first perk. We're very close here with strength. There we go, we earned our first perk. Now, we have thuggery unlocked. Every blow we strike with a blunted weapon deals 100% more concussive damage. So that is going to affect us very, very shortly. Because when we get our blacksmith bench built, and it comes time to choose an iron weapon, we will have a choice of iron swords, iron maces, iron two-handed weapons, and given that perk, we want a blunt one. And there we gained another level. Excellent. And there are some more deer out here. It's also nice if we can stock up a bit of food. All the food does have a expiration timer on it before it becomes putrid. Later on down the road, with new technologies, we will be able to unlock a food preservation box. Basically a medieval icebox refrigerator that we can put our food in, as well as some ice, and really delay that timer and let our food last a lot longer. Okay, how have we done? We've got a nice little stack of fur there. We have some food, we have some ironstone, and one thing I noticed that we're going to take advantage of is right down here, more dead trees, because we're going to need more fuel to keep turning these hides into leather, and unfortunately the tannery only has one fuel source, and that is bark. The furnace, we can use wood or coal, we could even use sticks. The fireplace and cooking areas you can use sticks and wood and coal. You have a choice of fuels, but unfortunately with the, like I said, with the tannery, you don't get a choice. It's nothing but bark. And we're going to need to put a third set of steps there, or corner steps, to finish off that area. Okay. So now we'll get things processing again. So we need the bark and the hides, and make sure it's turned on, and that'll give us 25 more more leather. Okay, so we have 4 medium paddings completed, and that's one of our main ingredients here. We also need iron bars, and we don't have enough leather yet. Okay, so we're going to get some iron bars working. We have 22 now, so we'll take them. We've got 20 more working. And we put them in there. We're also going to put these horns in here because you need them for some of the helmets. Let's see how close we are to making something now. Oh, 1 iron bar away from making a cuirass. And we do have enough to make the face mask. Oh, we even have enough leather to make the legs or shackles. So we'll build those. You can see we're going to need 18 more iron bars. 12, that's 30 iron bars. 53 iron bars, 65 iron bars more to finish off this set. So we've completed our first piece of armor. And how we equip that is we go select it and hit X. You can see it swaps it out there. And now these coarse foot wraps that were just plant fiber are garbage. We drop them. Now when we make this medium armor and heavy armor out of the bench and we upgrade, you want to hang on to the old pieces. You don't want to throw away good armor, because we will have eventually a Wheel of Pain built out here somewhere, and we're going to be thumping NPCs on the back of the head and encouraging them to work for us. So we would want to have them armored up once they're trustworthy, loyal employees. A lot of times when I have extra materials, I will build another storage box next to the armor just for spare sets of armor. I will do the same with the blacksmith bench when we have it ready. I will build an extra storage box just for extra weapons and tools. So you can see this game, like Minecraft, is a lot of item harvesting and item management, as well as the adventure of exploring and the combat. So we're at about an hour right now. I think this is a pretty good spot to take a pause. We got a lot accomplished. We got a house started. We got our most of our basic tool benches set up. We got our first piece of armor, and we're just about ready to undergo a massive upgrade with all our tools and weapons. So, if you liked the video, if you found it helpful, please consider giving a like, giving a thumbs up, even following or subscribing to my YouTube channel, Gray Hair Gamer. As always, we appreciate you watching and being able to interact with fans that love the games as much as I do. Until then, keep it savage out in the world of Conan, and take care.